thing about unhealthy comparison or comparison on its own is that in most cases it blinds you to the people that God has put in your life. You find yourself feeding your mind with negativity about that person, instead of letting go of all of those things, all of those negative things, and being open to asking, oh, how do you do it?
1 year, 2 year, 3 year go by, and people discover that they have lost themselves. They have lost the spark that they once had. You're doing this, you're going to teach, you're going to impact purpose for a bigger reason. You know, doing this the way somebody else is doing it is short term. I want you to think about the long term vision.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. Hey Thrivers.
Hi Thrivers.
Welcome to another episode of Thriving Daily.
Yes.
A space where
we talk about everything that has to do with faith, relationships, entrepreneurships, and purpose. And we also, share how we navigate through our daily lives, thrive daily. My name is Ginika.
My name is Sophie, and we are your hosts.
Yes, for today and always.
And always. So last week's episode was a topic that was very, very close to our heart. Even like the people that reached out to me to, sometimes like with the podcasting and, and talking about topics that are true to your heart or situations that you're dealing with. Everybody's going through that. Somebody somewhere, one way or the other, is also dealing with that. And I like it that, everybody keeps saying, oh, everybody has a podcast. Everybody has a podcast. Of course, there are some podcasts that it's, people, everybody just having fun or just saying things.
Random stuff.
But there are some that, like ours, our intention is to really be authentic and share those deeper, inner, topics that people will normally come and talk about, or that we don't really see people now coming to talk about, and then we talk about it. So it's so encouraging to see everybody like chime in and the community support and everything. So we appreciate it, and let us know how you're still trusting God in uncertainty.
Honestly, like everything around what we're talking about today is something that a lot of people deal with, which is comparison.
Yes,
a lot of people deal with comparison, and honestly, when you hear the phrase comparison is a thief of joy, you have no idea how deep that goes. You have no idea how, like, losing sight of how far you have come as a person and focusing and looking at what other people are doing. You have no idea how much of your peace of mind that takes away. Honestly, like, I feel like this is a topic that we needed to talk about, because a lot of people find themselves in a situation where they are dealing with comparison, be it at work. You're wondering why another colleague at work is constantly getting all the comments, all the praise, getting all the promotion. If you find yourself in a social media space, you're wondering why someone else who, in quotes, to you does not deserve that large platform happens to have it. Someone who do you understand? Someone else who maybe you guys render services and you're wondering why that person is always fully booked, but you are struggling. The truth is that the more you keep looking at other people in that manner, the more you keep building this, it's sort of like envy. Because when you keep comparing yourself, and not just comparing yourself, you're wondering why they deserve that blessing. It's someone like jealousy. And the thing about jealousy is that it doesn't just take away your joy, it also makes you to be bitter. It also makes you to be a sad person. It also makes such that no matter what you do, you would never be grateful. You would never feel fulfilled. Something keeps missing, because all you do is to keep looking outside at what other people are doing, instead of being within yourself and appreciating how God has blessed you, how much blessings you have.
Like, another thing I want to say, do you think there's anything like healthy, like, comparison? Because I hear some people say all the time, like, Yeah, when you have conversation around this, people will say, oh yeah, there's healthy comparison, but that when it starts getting toxic and bad is when, you know, it becomes unhealthy, is when envy gets in or jealousy gets in. It's like, oh, I'm comparing, like example, I'm comparing that I'm a lawyer, and maybe you as a lawyer, maybe you're a lawyer too, you've gotten your certification, maybe you need 3 certifications to get to a certain level, right, or to be called to the highest level of court or something, right? So I'm comparing myself to you, like, oh, you have 3 already and you're almost there, you've been called to the, so me, I need to do 1 step, 1 step, 2 step, 3, like, is that the definition of healthy comparison?
That is the word that I feel we should use in place of the comparison, because when you say inspiration,
yes,
it means that, okay, for example, we do the same thing, but I look up to you and I want to, you know, emulate how you do something. For example, like the industry where I find myself, the beauty industry, there are people who, okay, most of the content that people create, it's not necessarily because they came up with that idea.
Yeah.
It's always someone who came up with the idea, and then you look at it and you're like, oh, this is really good. Right? And then you are inspired by that particular content, and you see a reason to feel, okay, I feel like I can actually make something out of this content, and then I can use it for my own or purpose, or use it in my own way. But where the comparison becomes an issue is when you look at that person and there is any iota of negativity in your mind. That negativity could be, oh yeah, she didn't even do it well. Yeah, look at the way her mouth is looking. Yeah. Oh yeah, who does she think she is? Oh yeah, does she even think that she? Look at the way she.
And then why does she have 3 million likes on that post?
Who are these people that even like her?
Yeah,
you know, you find that there is there's an undertone of bitterness, even when some people don't say it openly. Deep down, they know they are dealing with that bitterness, and that bitterness is where the issue comes from. Because another thing about unhealthy comparison or comparison on its own is that in most cases it blinds you to the people that God has put in your life, whether directly or indirectly, who are meant to help you go to the next level. What I mean by that is, for example, if for example we happen to be in the same industry, let's say we happen to be maybe in sales, we sell products, and for example you happen to be gifted with being able to put content together, know how to film
and sell.
Instead of me to come to you and ask you, oh please, what phone do you use to film, or what light do you use, or how do you make this video? Because I know that I don't know how to do it. You find yourself feeding your mind with negativity about that person, instead of letting go of all of those things, all of those negative things, and being open to asking, oh, how do you do it? And let that person help you. Because the reason that they are in you could have seen anybody's feed, but God brought their feed your way. There's a reason why that person landed in your feed, like you are looking through and you saw them
to learn.
Yes, God put them there so that you can learn from them. And maybe there's maybe you look at them, maybe you are struggling with your putting out content frequently, and you happen to find somebody who is just so good at being always showing up. There's a lady that I follow, her name is Mena Adubia. She's like a content creator, and the reason I follow that girl is not because she does beauty content, but it's not exactly because she does exactly beauty content. I follow her because this lady, they need to give a degree to people who are consistent. She needs to take her PhD.
The level of consistency.
And the reason I follow her is because sometimes maybe when I lose, like when I don't post for a couple of days, not necessarily because I'm taking a healthy break or anything, maybe it was just because my content were not ready. I know that's not the right thing. But whenever I see her post pop up, this lady posts sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes 2 times a day. That's how and she doesn't film with her phone.
Wow.
So you can imagine professional camera,
remove
edit everything,
put it there
and all of that, and she's always on point. On YouTube she posts consistently. So the reason I follow her, I don't know her from anywhere, I don't think she knows me, but I follow her because I feel like, okay, this lady inspires me to be consistent. There are a lot of content creators I follow, and you know, whenever you see their posts, they give you indirectly an idea that you can now put to in your own way and come up with something. So imagine that I see her and I'm busy saying, oh yeah, I know that, oh this her skin is like, you would not be open to see the good in them. And that good in them is the reason why God brought them your way in the first place.
I feel like social media also, like what you're saying about following people and likes and everything, social media is playing a role in the dangers of comparison now, right? It's becoming too much. It's becoming toxic, and social media is not real life. And I feel like most people forget, right? And this is translating to people's real lives, and I feel like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year go by, and people discover that they have lost themselves. They have lost the spark that they once had. And the reason why they lost the spark that they once had is because they are trying to compare themselves to other people.
100%.
Like, there's so many unique or bright minds or creative people that have done things in our world that I can only imagine if they were trying to be like someone else, we would not have had them.
Right.
Like even in the small space of content creation on social media and all of that too, like, if we talk about like big content creators that are doing amazing, in the industry, there's so many that I follow. I know this guy, Kevon on stage. I know so many of these other people that are trying in their own space. And there's Nazare, there's Jackie Aina, all these people in those spaces. Like, if Jackie Aina was trying to be like some other makeup creator, somebody else, and lose herself, like the way she does makeup, and she's talking about social issues, and mixing it, like there'll be no Jackie Aina and all of that. So I feel like there's a danger to losing yourself, who you're meant to be, and carving your own niche for yourself if you're trying to be like someone. Like you said, inspiration is great, motivation is great, like this person inspires me, motivates me to be better, but finding your own unique strength, and carving that niche for yourself and being known in that field for that thing is your space, is who you're meant to be. You're not supposed to be quirky if you're not quirky.
Yes.
If you don't have that this thing to be quirky, you're not supposed to be. If you know that you're not, fashion like that, you like colors and everything, don't try to imbibe all of that, because it would show
that
like
not
people
authentic.
Can read that it's not authentic. You can only pretend so far, and I feel like we tend to do ourselves a disservice when we're trying to be like other people, or sort of put up a facade that we've created, because then you eventually make friends that like that personality that you've shown them that you are, and eventually when they see that they like it, they become friends with you, and then the real parts of you start to come out, and they might not like it.
It cannot flow.
You do a disservice to yourself, because now you have people around you in your circle that you genuinely might not even like. You might not even want to be around, but you have already created this persona. You've shown them this because you're trying to be like someone else. They like that someone else, but then where's the space for you in the world? Where's the niche that you carved for yourself in the world? And it's something that I'm trying to learn to on my own in my business, because as a business owner, even as a content creator too, and in the creative space, you have an idea. In my quiet time, praying to God and getting my ideas. When I meditate, in my quiet time, in my closet, that's when I get most of my ideas. It's not even scrolling through Instagram and copying people. No, I get my ideas and I'm like, God, like, do this like this, do it like that. Like, from the creator himself, I get the creative ideas. He created the whole world with the word of his mouth, so that's my source for creativity. I plug and play into that, the wisdom that comes from the spiritual, God and all of that too. So once I get my ideas, I write down my ideas. I have this, creative strategy and the process, and then I write it and I start to maybe script what I want to talk about, or if it's a new business I want to start, I start to like plan out the models, the drivers, how everything will work. And then all of a sudden, it's that still like the devil knows that you have this new idea, you have the process, and you go on social media and you see somebody else with that same type of idea, but creating the content uniquely or differently from the way you have been instructed to do it. And all of a sudden, you catch yourself wanting to do that
way.
Like, I mean, social media, I offer brand and marketing services. And you go on social media and you see these people saying, like creating content around showing off their cars and saying how much they made and all that. And then sometimes you want to do it because you see thousands of comments on their page, commenting, I want to join your class, send me. And then you go back to your place of prayer and you literally hear God pull you back and say, that's not what I sent you to do. That's not what I asked you to do. You're doing this. You're going to teach. You're going to impact purpose for a bigger reason. Doing this the way somebody else is doing it is short term.
Yeah.
I want you to think about the long term vision, and that's where I'm taking you to. So reel yourself back in. Reel yourself back in. Yeah, you've seen it. You want to almost copy. Maybe their style of content is working. No, say reel it back in. I am the creator. I'm giving you that wisdom. Do it this way, because you try to do it that way. I do send you.
Yeah, very
so
true.
come back, wake up, you know, and then just stay on track.
Yeah, what you said about the whole how when you try to be someone else, you lose yourself.
Yeah,
it reminds me of the words that I learned from, or there's something I learned from Myron Golden. It talks about how each of us we have been given an assignment.
Yeah,
we are it's almost like, so look at it this way: you have a space that you occupy on earth for a reason. Maybe that space could be that God has assigned 1 million people to you, and you are the reason why these 1 million people will live, will thrive, and all of that. Another person has been assigned maybe another 1 million different category of people.
Yeah,
the moment you leave your space to try to be that person, so let me use this way. Everybody that knows my kind of content knows that I'm Nigerian. I sound like Nigerian. I don't sound like every other content creator that I know,
like in America,
like right in Canada or in North America or in the US. If I try to be now, there may have been the 1 million people that God has assigned to me, who are like me, who live in this part of the world or not even in this part of the world, who understand the way I talk, and they cannot relate to the way other people talk, because I represent them. The moment I leave my space and I decide to start copying another person's way of creating content, right? That means those people that have been assigned to me, they are there without a leader. No matter how small you are a leader. In one way or the other, you're leading a field. Even if you're a mom, you're not on social media, you are leading those children. The moment you live the way God has asked you to lead those children and try to copy another person's parenting style that goes against what God has told you for these children, there's nobody to steward them. So it's so important, because when you leave your own space to go to another person's space, now that person's space has 2 people. While your own millions are there's nobody stewarding them. So if you begin to look at it that way, you would. The day I heard that thing, I was like, this is deep, because it hits deep. So deep, and then it reminds us of how much we need to be authentic to ourselves. There's nothing wrong if you maybe back when we were in school, you tried to be somebody else, you like this person, you try to copy everything about them. There's nothing wrong. I always believe that whenever you learn something, that is when God wants you to know about it. If God wanted you to have learned it like years ago, you would have learned it. But whenever you eventually learn it, pick yourself back up, dust yourself, and continue on the right path. Because at the end of the day, you are here for a purpose. You're here for a reason. Like, always looking at what another person is doing, always trying to peep at other people, always trying to copy the other person's style, will only make you to be frustrated. Because it's not authentic. The only thing you can do freely, you wake up each day, you do freely, is when you are you. If you are copying another person's lifestyle, sometimes those people's lifestyle is way more expensive than you can carry. You are there, the little 2K that God gave you to manage for the family. Because another person is carrying a designer handbag,
so that you can compensate. Unbox with me.
Do you understand? You want to do unbox with me, but you don't have, like, literally, like, it's so important that we understand how much being you gives you peace. Like you're not looking at another person. You may not have the car they have, you may not have the money that they have, you may not have the wealth, the luxury that they flash, and all of those things. God can give it to you. Joshua Selman always says that why fake what can be real? Why fake what can be real?
Exactly. That's the word for today.
Do you understand?
That's the
why fake what can be real?
Because it can be real.
It can be real. Why fake it?
Go through that journey.
Like, why?
I feel like people don't enjoy, the process, the growth process. And I feel like social media makes it a bit worse. More, I love social media. I love connecting. I've always loved storytelling, everything. So I'm not saying like there's anything wrong in it. I'm just saying, like, we need to build that stamina and that growth and that process. I love that process of growth and strength, you know, because there's strength in it. There's beauty in it. It's beautiful when you come out and be like, oh, I did that. Like all of this, I went through it, but I did. I'm not saying like, you know, suffer stupidly or something. I'm like, you can walk with the wisdom of God and work smart and then come out on top, right? But the thing is, a lot of times I was talking to my brother recently, and you know, we were talking about money, and then he was like, don't worry, I will soon blow, you know, all these kind of things. That's like the Nigerian version of I'll make it, I'll make money and everything, right? So he said that, and you know, I was like, oh yeah, it's not even really about the blow, not like as if that's the goal or the end goal. It's like, I want you to enjoy the process and the growth, whatever you're striving to be, whatever you feel like that's your calling or your goal, whether that's music or to be a speaker or to be a writer or to even get a 9-to-5 job or to be an engineer, whatever it is, you know, enjoy that process, build, learn, know yourself, discover yourself, you know, transform yourself. It's like you see somebody on social media, you see an 18-year-old boy. Recently I saw an ad and he was saying, oh, at 18, how I made $2 million in my e-commerce dropshipping company and everything. And you see him, like, you know, with the ads, and he's in his Lamborghini driving, and then you see another 18-year-old boy that maybe has tried that e-commerce thing and didn't work, and then gets a bad business deal, you know, from somebody else, and they tell him, okay, do maybe fraud or something, because he's trying to keep up with the other 18-year-old boy that is riding a Lamborghini that is saying he made money from e-commerce, but we don't know if that's it, right? You don't know what's happening internally with other people, but they show you this social media highlight reel, and then you believe, and then in your own real life you now tend to make bad decisions just to compare or keep up. And I told my brother, that's not what it is. It's like, no, love your own journey, love your own process, you know, enjoy the moments around you, enjoy the growth, spend time with your family and all that. It's not easy, I know, because the pressure is there. The pressure is out there. It's not easy. You see it daily. Like, maybe if, you know, you need to also find out what is triggering you. Identify your triggers. It might be social media, it might be people you follow. Unfollow them.
Yes.
Unfollow, block, unfollow, everything. They're not doing anything to you. They're living their life. Maybe they don't know how it's affecting you.
Yes.
But once you notice those things trigger you into a state of pressure or depression or comparison that it turns to envy, jealousy, you feel depressed, you know, you feel worthless, all of that too. Turn that off, block them up, you know, take time off social media, and you will discover that the things you might not have had time for in real life, you start to have time for it. You go for a walk and you enjoy nature, you enjoy beauty. Like, I mean, back home in Nigeria, I don't think I used to enjoy walking. Like, the walk is like, but here I now enjoy beauty, I enjoy nature, you know. Go for a walk, take your kids, just is the little things you start to enjoy, and then you see how they give you ideas. The business ideas you never knew could come will come out of that quiet time, and you shutting off other things and stop looking at the people that, you know, cause that pressure on you, and then you start to enjoy. Like, I feel like the young people now, maybe Gen Z, millennial in between, want to make it fast. They feel like, I just do one thing today and immediately I'm saying I'm making $1 million or $2 like immediately, you know. Especially in Africa, and then the way we see that and all that, is like, oh, hammer, drive cars, like the young people and everything. But there's beauty and growth. It might happen faster for somebody. Maybe person has music talent, person sings, sells album, has money. It's okay. It's their process. You have your own process. I've seen young people too that start tech companies and tech firms, and they have the money, which is their journey, genuinely using their strength, impact, providing a solution for the world. You know, people that act movies, you know, young people and everything. Like, it's just enjoy your journey, find your own path, you know, and don't let the whole social media comparison affect you. You know,
it's so deep, because I mean, the thing about the thing you mentioned about how it's so important to unfollow people who put you under unnecessary pressure. I do that very often. Like, I literally, like, today you may see me, I'm following maybe 900 people. Tomorrow you see that 900 is 700. Like, I always know when to. I always have that urge from time to time to take inventory. Who are the people I'm following? Who are the, because you may not necessarily have 100% over the people who follow you. But you have 100% over the people that you follow. So it's very important that you follow people who push you to be a better version of yourself. There are people that you follow, like myself now. One of my biggest goal now is, how do I stay healthy, eating healthy? I don't want to be eating anyhow the way I used to before. So now what do? I follow all the people who might be indirectly. They may, like you said, they didn't do anything to me. They don't even know me. I don't even know them personally. So there's nothing wrong in you clicking unfollow, because I know that they constantly make me to go back to the old version of myself. But I feel like as time has gone, I've grown to the point where I don't care what food I eat, I see on social media. It doesn't make me to just want to eat it. Now that, so you eventually get to the point where even if eventually you follow those people who flash all these things, you have better control. But when you are in the beginning phase of that, you need to really remove all the people who from time to time they're constantly showing you things that make you start feeling like you're worthless, that make you to start feeling like, oh, there's nothing happening in your life. Every other person has it all figured out.
All your achievements are not
exactly. So you constantly need to ask yourself, who are the people I'm following? Go through your follow list. And I always advise, as much as possible, even though this is like an opinion that people can have different views about,
unsolicited opinion.
Exactly. I would advise you to not have more people you're following than people who follow you. I know that, that is personally something I learned a long time ago. Because if you have more, so if for example you have 500 people you're following and you're following 2,000, it means that you basically you are basically not just even that you're a follower. You are basically just consuming all day. Especially when maybe your own life is not that you're putting out anything out there. If you're putting out, I always tell, like, it helps you to also keep track so that you just don't follow people aimlessly. If you check it, 2,000 people you're following and you have only 500 followers, trust me, you don't need those 2,000. That is too much people to follow for somebody who does not do anything with social media. If you are running a business,
like you're not running a business,
exactly. If you're running a business, or you have a firm, or you have a company that you use social media to grow, and you're following people who give you ideas,
potential
that is totally fine. But when you're there as like personal account, and then you're following 3,000 people, what are you following them for? You wake up each day, you consume and consume and consume. And the issue is that the more you consume things that don't add value to your life, the more you're making yourself open to all this unhealthy competition. You are indirectly always seeing things that remind you how well people are doing. Because who are the people 3,000 is a lot.
And how little you.
We cannot fill this room with 100 people. We can't even put 50 people in this room. So imagine 3,000 different lives that you're following, and most of those people put out content almost on daily basis. And you're spending hours and hours, and you're wondering the reason why you're depressed. The truth is that the more you consume things that don't push you in the right direction, the more you consume things that push you in the wrong direction. So if you wake up each day and you're following people who are flashing cars, and you know that you're dealing with with self, confidence, growth, your personal growth, and all of these things, you are only making yourself vulnerable. But the moment you begin to learn to look through your follow list, who are the people I'm consuming their content? Honestly, I got to the point where I had to remove, I had to block, I had to remove, I had to mute. These three things are buttons you have to use from time to time. Mute could be for people who, genuinely, I don't mind following this person, but I don't think their content is healthy for me right now. You mute because you just don't want to block or unfollow. Block is the people who constantly bring in negativity. They maybe comment badly on your post, drop bad things. I block you because I don't have time for this. Unfollow are the people who, you people don't add any value to each other's life. Why are you following them? Right?
Or so you've outgrown that person's type of,
lifestyle or content. Thank you. That is the distraction. Anybody who does not move the needle in your favor is a distraction. If you open your follow list, let the people you follow, if your interest is in growing your relationship with God, follow accounts of people who constantly share the ways that are growing with God. It helps you to know that you're not alone. It helps you to also see what they are doing right, and you do it. If you're trying to grow your business, follow people who you know are doing well in their own businesses. What are they doing? You can learn from them. What are they doing right? How are they filming their content? If you are in the corporate world and there are people who share things that help you maybe get a better job, whatever, increase your salary, get a promotion, follow those people. But following people who all they do is just flashing a lifestyle that you don't even understand where all these things are coming from, and you know that some people can sit and they can handle handle it. But you may be struggling with even handling all those kind of pressure.
How about there's a big elephant in the room, right? So even like the comparison of real life, right? We both moved to Canada, right? You know, and Canada is a beautiful place. There's a growing community, you know, of different, you know, communities. There's the Indian community, there's the Nigerian community. It's so beautiful, and you know, to see how we sometimes can rally together, support, you know, events, all of those things. But I've noticed, I didn't realize it earlier until, you know, I started hearing bits and pieces from other people of, you know, little comparisons. You know, in the beginning when you first move, yes, like everybody is trying to help each other grow, you know, support like new country, what are we doing? But slowly you start to hear, oh, like this person, you know, I reached out to this person, I saw that in this person's office there was a job opening or something, and you know, I reached out to the person, I have the skills, I have to come to, but the person did not, you know, answer to help me out. You know, maybe it's the comparison thing, maybe the person felt like I'll come to the company and be any more than because I have more, you know, and you know, comparison like, oh, this person has bought a bigger house, I want to buy a bigger house, or this person now, you know, has 2 cars, I want to have 2 cars and 3 cars, and then you go into debt, you know, so many things too. So there's also the comparison, big elephant in the room of, you know, in a community, in a space, trying to outdo others. So this is now offline, this is now on social media. So like for me, you know, I don't know. I know not everybody can be like me and everything, and I won't say, oh, there's no comparison bone in my body. But I've always been. I remember when I was in college, people used to say, like, when I have friends, you know, in school going out together, they would say, oh, guys will approach me and say, I like the way you and your girls are friends. Like, you guys are friends like guys. And I used to say, how are girls friends like guys? And the guy would explain to me, like, you guys don't have drama, not too much drama. I noticed how you guys have conversations and share things and do things. It's like there's no, like he says, like in other girl friendships he has seen, there's always drama, there's always fight for this. Today they are not talking tomorrow, there's much, but you guys are so carefree. And I don't know if it's a thing of then we were not married, there was no job, no 9 to 5 and everything, we're just carefree, we're just living in the moment. And the beauty of living in that moment, it was that there was nothing we were looking up to. There was no, oh, she has a better job than me. Oh, she has a bigger. It was like we're all on the same level. We're living in the same home. We're enjoying, and that is sort of that. I've carried that even now as an adult. Just that conversation with that guy, you know, till today I've carried it, and I realized that somehow that's how I have a strong sense of self, you know, and purpose. And I feel like it's something that can be learned and built. Like, no matter what who I am, you know, or where I am, a stage in my life, I don't care who is standing in front of me. It could be the president, you know, it could be Oprah, it could be anybody, like somebody that I even love, you know, but they are wealthy, they are famous and everything. I would walk into that room with my head high, even if I was wearing like flimsy, like bathroom slippers, and they were all adorned in designers and Gucci. I would walk in there and still be confident. I would talk like, you know, I'm the queen of. I would, like, if I walk into that room and I'm supposed to speak and I'm supposed to say, I won't reduce myself because I feel like, oh, this person has so much more. Like, you see me and you think, oh, she's a billionaire, trillionaire. The only confidence and backing I have is God, and then in who I am as myself. So that's why I won't say that sometimes you see certain things and be like, oh, maybe I wish I had reached this level, but I don't let that comparison linger and become unhealthy in a space where I don't want other people to outshine me. Like, I've noticed that it happens in communities and in friendships. Like, my friend is doing better than me. Oh, then it turns to envy, then it turns to jealousy. So how is that comparison? How can people navigate that? Because I won't say I've had too much of that, because I've learned to grow in myself. And I know one of the ways to navigate that is when you walk within yourself. Like, you know, your growth. But for you, how do you navigate that? Or has that ever, like, been an issue around you or any of that?
Yeah, I feel like For me, it goes back to my upbringing, right? Because I grew up in a family where we didn't have a lot, right? I mean, we were just basically, when I say okay, I mean okay on the lower side, the lower side of okay. But there was something I noticed, like there was always, I'm the last and we're 6. So I knew that I always saw my siblings act as if we had everything.
Wow.
Like they would always, I wouldn't like, because I wouldn't want to say that it's just something I grew up and I just had.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes too the environmental influences has a big role to play, because I know, like my immediate elder sister, she's just this kind of person. She's very bold, like can literally stand up to you and talk to you, like, and do you understand? She will not be afraid of you. So growing up to see those kind of things, there was always, and we were never allowed to go on holidays. We didn't go on holidays. We didn't go to anyone's house. So even though we saw all of these things in school, we were never in a situation where my parents put us in an environment where we are looking at other people have all these things that we don't have, and then we are feeling inferior.
So
right.
So they protected
us from all, even when we see these things in church or all these things. That's it. But it's worse when you now maybe go on holidays to those people's houses that have way more than you, and then you're seeing how they are. They'll just say, "Daddy, I want the chocolate," and they'll buy them in my house box of chocolates, and you know that you've not eaten chocolates for the last 3 years. You know what I mean? So growing up in that kind of environment has a big role to play. And I feel like sometimes, especially for us that are parents, we don't understand the power that we have. The you see, between the ages of 0 and would I say 15. For me, I believe that these are the formative years. These are the years where anything you live in with your child stays with them into adulthood. That period, there'll be a lot of innocently, they will come to you and say things like my daughter Olivia will always say, "Oh mom, mommy, can we get this? This person in my class has this." And I'll ask her, "What do we say in this house?" And she'll say, "We don't compare." I said, "Say it louder." "We don't do what other people are doing." I said, "Yes, we don't do. If you wanted like that particular kind of shoe, you come to me and say, 'Mommy, I want this particular kind of shoe.' Don't come to me to say, 'I want that shoe because this person has it.'"
So thank you for joining us, and don't forget to leave your comment. If you have anything you want us to talk about, share, just leave it in the comments and we'll talk about it.
Thank you guys so much. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friend. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, Tribers.
Bye, guys.